What's up, everybody? I'm sorry I never did post another video. We did end up going to the track last weekend. It was pretty embarrassing. The truck did really bad. And, well, then again, to be honest, if you read it right, it spun really, really bad. But overall, it still pulled a good enough time that it's probably as fast or just a hair faster than my last truck. And I kind of let it slip up right there when I turned the camera. But some things have changed. Ta-da. So, I've drove the truck a little bit this weekend. Let me turn it sideways so I can get a good panoramic and zoom out. There we go. So, I've been driving it a good bit this weekend, and I mean, I have to wear earmuffs. It's pretty bad. It was pretty loud. It is what it is. It's not done, but I decided to go ahead and just put stock manifolds on it. I've made them work. I still got to send it to the exhaust shop and get a full exhaust system put on it. But to be honest, I mean, this motor's not making crazy amounts of horsepower, so there's no need for me to have a custom built set of headers yet. That, and I ain't got the money right now to do it. That and the other ones, I mean, I've had cops turn their heads and look at it, and I don't want this truck to get a bad rap like the last truck did. Don't get me wrong, we've had it pretty quick this weekend. I mean, I've had it up to 115. But then again, the other day I had a buddy of mine ride with me. Hell, the weight must have made that much of a difference. We couldn't get it to go but 104. But like I said, I mean, it's bone stock motor. I was figuring out I didn't lie. But yeah, I got the old headers off. It don't even sound the same anymore. It ain't. It's still peppy, but it don't sound quite the same. But then again, to be honest, that's fine with me. I want it quiet. I want to be able to drive this truck. I don't want it to be so loud the neighbors get pissed off in the morning whenever I leave. I'm going to put probably the same as that mufflers I got back there, the Flowmaster FX series, just a 2.5 inch. Yeah, I'm putting 2.5 inch exhaust on this truck. I may do 3. I may try to upgrade it to 3. It depends on the price. But 2.5 is enough to flow what it is, because hell, my last truck was making more power than this thing. Well, more horsepower, but not as much torque as this thing is. And I had 2-inch exhaust on it because the muffler guy knew more than I did. But then again, that truck ran good, and it did 7. And the fastest I ever got that truck was a 742 in the 8th mile, which is really not fast. But for what this thing did from the factory, that's pretty quick for what it is. And for the budget that I've spent on these trucks. But I had to do a lot of scraping. I actually had to booger that control arm up really good, but I've got something new. I've got the fix for that. I've got tubular control arms for it. I'm going to put them on next weekend, probably next Friday night. I'm going to spend a lot of time getting this truck ready, and I'm going to try to take it to the local exhaust shop Saturday morning and get them to put a full exhaust system on it. That's still got to be put on. I've got to patch the hole in the floor that I've done for the header. Well, it's manifold. Which then again, to be honest now, there are headers that will fit just like these are fitting now. And that's the plan, is to put a set of headers on this truck. But for right now, these stock manifolds will work. They'll do what I want them to do. I went and stopped and bought a $10 can of high temp paint, the flame proof stuff, and it actually turned out looking pretty good. I mean, it looks smaller in the truck now. I'm not gonna lie, the motor looks smaller on camera. It don't look smaller in person, I promise you. But it just looks different. It looks so much different than what it did. But I'm kind of hoping here soon there's going to be something just right here. That's all I'm going to say. There's going to be something just right there, hanging off the side. And it's going to have a pipe that kind of goes to here, but that's saying too much. And it's going to have about that wide, maybe that wide on it, but that's just saying too much. But then again, to be honest, I mean, there's another one that might be sitting kind of up here. But I kind of want to keep the hood now that I've seen it. I kind of want to keep the hood. So I'm going to just have the one that sits off to the side. But y'all don't know what I'm talking about. It's fine. Y'all will find out later on. I've got to get me some pins for this crap. Some tassels for these things. Because if not, I've lost one or two. And I've had to look everywhere and come to find out it fell down in the dang windshield wiper hole. That was a pain in the butt. But I mean, other than that, I like the truck. It's just driving pretty good. It's driving pretty well. It does pull a little bit. I do got to get the front end aligned. That's, as soon as I get the exhaust on it, that's the next step, is front end alignment. And then, well, now don't get me wrong, it's going to be quiet, but it's going to have a nice rumble to it, hopefully. And it's still going to rock, and that's what I like about it. That's what I liked. I went to the gym, when did I go? Saturday. I went to the gym Saturday morning. I walked back out there, and I popped that button one time, and it fired right up, and it just started sitting there. Pop, 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 pop. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. I've got to get some paint on this because it got wet this weekend and it looks rough. But we were going to do a paint job the last week of December, but actually I'm going to wait till about February. I'm going to put the roll cage in it first so I don't scratch it and I don't want to have to take the glass out twice, because I'm going to take all the glass out when I do the roll cage. I'm going to probably go ahead and try to do the dash, the fiberglass dash, whenever I do the roll cage, because the dash ain't but like $250, which ain't bad at all. And look at that water pump shining. That's the only thing. Well, I don't know, the valve cover's kind of shining. I got so much grease and grime on them right now from working all day today. I was going to take the day off, but you see how that went. But let me know what you think. I think it looks better in my opinion. I mean, once I put the fender liners back in, because I got to take the manifolds back off completely and everything. I've got to clean out the studs in that one, drill out the studs in this one, put new studs in them. I got a lot of crap to do. When I do this side, I'm going to try to have somebody here to help me line the steering wheel up. I'm sick and tired of that. I mean, I've kind of thought about putting power steering on this truck, but I don't want to go through the hassle that I did to do the damn alternator. Y'all talking about a pain in the butt. Getting that spaced out right? Nah, I'd rather just take and call it a day. Keep it with the alternator, because it really ain't that hard to steer. It really ain't, because when it's moving, I mean, it moves pretty good. But now, when you turn it really hard and that rear end starts to fight against you, then it gets hard to turn it. But yeah, it's put together. It's a little cleaner than it was. You don't see any of the, well, you see them zip ties right there. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to get kicked. There's a ghost in here. I hope not. I hate to leave my baby in here with a ghost. Cleaned up some of the wiring a little bit more, mainly because of that down there now. Had to clean up all them wires, move a lot of wires, had to cut and splice wires, which I really did not want to do. And this video is getting too long, so I'm going to let y'all go, but I appreciate y'all watching. Yeah, I cut the frame down there because I was going to put the radiator in there, then decided not to, so I'm going to have to do something different eventually. A lot of forward and backwards, as I always do with all my projects. I do the same thing every time. I can't make my mind up. I do it one way, then I do it a complete another way. But for now, the truck does still run and drive. I can drive it right now, but well, to be honest, it's not really. It's about as loud as it was with the mufflers on it, which is, I knew the manifolds right there weren't going to breathe near as good, and we're going to quieten it down a lot. But that's fine with me, because I do plan on buying a set of custom built headers, or getting somebody to custom build me a header, or doing it myself. If I get the money together to get a nice welder, I may just go to my buddy's shop. He said I got an open invitation to borrow his welder as long as I put wire in it. So I'm happy with that. He's got some nice welders. He's got a really nice shop. I took it out there to his shop today, and we went riding. It was fun. He was kind of impressed with it. I mean, when you look at it and you think about it, you're like, oh, it's got a race motor in it. No, it's not a race motor. That is a bone stock pickup truck engine. Because I promise you, if this was a C3500, my engine would look just like that. Promise. Well, I don't know about a water pump. I probably wouldn't put electric water pump on a C3500. I'd probably just put the mechanical. But I will say the electric fans are still working great. Well, today's been kind of cool. I think the highest it got was 60 today. And they didn't even come on until I completely stopped and let it sit there and idle for a while. But when was it? I think it was Friday. Friday it got up to around 75, almost 80. And this started to warm up a little bit, but it still didn't get over. It didn't hit 200, I know that. And the fans kicked. I think really what happened is fans kicked on a little late. Because as soon as the fans kicked on, it came right back down to 190-ish. Well, 185. They shut off at 185. That's right. 185-ish, and then it kept on going. But so far, I've not had to stop and turn the truck off because it's fitting to overheat and boil over and all that. Thank God. I spent the extra money to put the radiator in the bed and all that. And I'll tell you another thing. That dang carburetor right there, get dang condensation on it. That junk is staying so cold. But that's enough talking. This video's done gone to 11 minutes, and nobody's going to make it this far. Nobody's going to listen to me ramble on, and that's fine. When I'm 80 years old, I can look at this and say I was an idiot. Because hopefully this truck will still be with me. But I doubt it. I'll be honest, I'm going to hold on to this truck as long as I can. But next year's going to be kind of tight because of all the money I spent on this truck. But as long as I got good health, I can pay it all back and I can get it paid down. And then it'll be playtime. It'll be serious play money. And I'm going to tell you right now, this ain't going to be quick then. It's going to be a Hellcat kidder. That's for sure. Because I don't plan on stopping until that motor makes at least 700 horse. NA or blower. Or nitrous. I don't know yet. Or both. Or turbo. Nah, I ain't doing turbos. I done got away from the turbo thing. I don't want to jump out and do the turbo stuff because it just, to me, it's a lot more work and a lot more hassle, in my opinion, than a blower. A blower, you just got to make sure that fuel ratio, the AFR, is perfect all the time. Which you do on turbos too. But the blower, I mean, the biggest thing you got with it is breaking a blower belt. And they're not really that expensive. Some of them are. Some of them are freaking ridiculous. But, as always, if you made it this far and you're a newcomer, like and subscribe. I appreciate it, y'all.